real gaming, real lore. That's what I like to hear. All right, say hi to YouTube. Say hi to YouTube. It's going on YouTube later. Greetings, salutations. I hope everyone's having a good day. You already know that I put out this community post about your Tower of God hot takes. I said positive or negative or somewhere in between. Any opinion, thought, or feeling you had that goes against the grain. So that you think most people would disagree with, and we're gonna get into that today. So. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? It's good, I promise. It's like animated well, at least. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I can't with y'all, okay? I'm not interested. Stone Ocean is out. All I care about is Stone Ocean. I ain't watching no League of Legends, whatever the hell, Arcane, all right? I'm not interested. If I liked League, I would have been there. But I'm sorry, guys. That's not moving me. Alrighty, so, okay, Raxa Dilf. So he's starting off really unserious. That's what we're doing? What we're doing.
A little something like eeny, meeny, right from the beginning. Smoke a little pack, but the pack never timid. Church, but I'm seeing it. Curse when I'm winning. She need a new back. When it's back, I'ma bend it. Slap up some guinea, ask me to hit it. Watch a nigga black slipper yak, I'ma quit it. Swerve in the Benzie, perfume is Fendi. Bob and move fast, real fast like I'm Ricky. That's 'cause I'm pretty, came from the dirt. Shovel up a nigga, can't handle the work. Y'all, swing with it first. Young white girl like a ramble.
Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell of dawn so the Ghost of the 13-month series does not get you and you can stay notified. Check my description for various links like the links to my Discord, and follow me at Young Paperwork on Twitter, comment and share, and definitely follow me on Twitch. And now, back to the video. Alright, give it one episode? Nah, bruh. I'm not doing it. You will not get me to like anything, hype anything, or even be slightly interested in anything League of Legends. I'll watch it with my boy and see what he thinks. I'll watch it with him because he knows League stuff. All right, let's commence. Yeah, Raxa Delph is very unserious, but all right, man, you got it. Did I reply? Oh, so Baam did not need this black orb-ish to beat white. All he needed was the two thorns combined with himself and maybe some Black March action, and white would be dead. Do I agree with that? Nah, I don't know if I agree with that. That's an interesting take, cause I think I don't know. He kind of rusted his sword immediately too. It's a hot take for sure. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I gotta think about that one. Cause I'm trying to think about all the things that he did in the fight. Just doing this and all the stuff coming down, but maybe nah. I'm gonna say that yes, because it allowed him to play a more projectile game, I think. So, but yeah. But anywho, Slave in Utero has failed to capitalize on the world he created, as there are so many different avenues he can take the story besides us always being with Baam. I don't think it's too late for him to really bring that lore and world building full circle and kind of make the tower feel like it's something really special again. But I do think he is not capitalizing on that for sure. I can agree with that. I don't think so. The aura was like a tank of infinite Shinsu. Yeah, like it's like that seemed to be the main reason why he won. I think he's saying that, maybe he's saying that like, I do think sometimes saying, even without that, he could have still won. And I think if that's what he's saying, I probably agree. But I don't know. On Tower of God, my hot take is that it got boring during the train arc. It felt like the same thing over and over. I didn't care about anyone but Rat, Kun, and Baam. I think the Hell Train saga is really long. But I like it. So, it's raw. I like most of the Hell Train stuff, man. It's cool. I have no problem with it. A Dory will appear at the very end of the arc. I don't know. Cause some people think that Luslik or the family head could appear too. So a Dory popping up wouldn't be that crazy. It is kind of a wild thing to assume, but I think that's kind of crazy. It sounds like a One Piece problem where we want arcs and moments with other characters that not Luffy. Oh yeah. We have that problem for sure. For sure we do. Baam is too powerful. He's leaving his companions in the dust. He's on like his 6th power up to the point that they don't even feel exciting anymore. It's like if Goku was using SSJ4 against Frieza and Namek, I can go further on about this. It's not. I don't even think it's a hot take. It's not just what's happening. It seems like most of the community didn't F with the rack and couldn't power up. Yeah, I was actually kind of shocked. Like, it seemed like I thought that I was still going to be in the minority, but like I think this was not a breaking point, but this was one of those things where a lot of people were like, nah, this was not it. Like, this was possibly a step too far. Baam might be able to take on a family head at his level. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's spicy. I like it. Positive hot take. The direction the story is going in with how fast Baam is growing is actually fine because it took any longer for him to reach this level. The story would have begun to feel dragged out. I don't agree with that. I feel like SIU really accelerated Baam's growth because we need the story to move past the getting strong phase. My problem with this is usually like, doesn't execution matter? If you're not CBL, you're not reading the story. Hey, it was so glaring. Take on maybe, but not defeat on. I think. Okay, that's fair. I don't know. I think execution matters. To just be like, hey, he needs to be this strong, so do whatever it takes to make him this strong. Not moving me. Difficulties. Please hold on as we attempt to restart the stream. Yeah, I'm back. What's up, Ace? Okay, but yeah, it is a hot take, I think, to some degree. Maybe I don't know. I find that this white and Baam thing is a bit polarizing. CBL keeps us going. Let's go. What's up, my somewhat different from other humans? I'm here, man. You already know, man. I'm here, man. Negative hot take. SU is a huge problem with keeping characters around for no reason. I feel this diminishes their intrigue. Characters like Kaiser, Karaka, White, Burrow, Sachi lost all their uniqueness because they stuck around too long and didn't do anything as noteworthy as when they were introduced. White is kind of an exception, but I feel like he became less menacing. I agree with that, actually. I really dislike the fact that Caliban is fighting for us now. Okay, for other minor things, and Dorsey becoming an Uber later half the season, didn't like that. Hey, Bong Bong Merchant. She bonging everybody. CBL, baby. You already know. Alright. Kun is a wannabe smart ass. When he's doing something smart, I get the feeling that instead of his IQ getting higher, others' intelligence gets lower. Man, you guys are rankers and you survived the tower. Did you forget that? Idiots. That one's very interesting to me. How you guys feel about that? Do you feel that sometimes when Aguero does a plan and it comes to fruition and it works out, SIU has to kind of dumb down the other characters? Or do you think I think him and Ship are just kind of smart, like outliers in intelligence amongst regulars. But Uber Empire already know. What's good? What's up, Mikey? I remember when White was introduced as an insanely powerful and top tier and turned out to be Baam's B. Yeah. I kind of agree. I don't think Aguero and Hansung are that smart. Hansung definitely it comes across to me as a little bit overrated from the genius standpoint. Shibisu is smart though. Like Shibisu is smart, man. Come on. He gotta be smart. He gotta be. Oh, you got a few. Okay. Let's see. Oh, shoot. So Malik says, I got a few. First, I think SIU's been fumbling the irregular concept for a while now. It seems to me to be an excuse for contrived power-ups and bailouts. My immersion is broken almost every time in the fandoms. Excuses the mid with usual defenses. Don't you know he's an irregular? What do you expect? Why doesn't Rachel benefit from the regular status? Are Urek, Jihad, and Co. also Kirby's? Tell me something. It's been years. Next, I feel Rack and Guerrero have developed into Baam Sims with no motivation. Bro speeches from Rack don't do it anymore. I'm not a Yaoi fan that's satisfied by Baam and Kun standing next to each other. No offense to them. Where is the hunter at? What happened to plotting the future family head? Bring back the goons. This last one might not be a hot take, but SIU can't handle his cast size. I agree with that. Baam's team should have just been the season 1 cast and Team Sweet and Sour Pork rotating in and out. Kaiser's the only interesting new addition. Throw the rest away. P.S. Rachel is top tier. Every reread she moves up my list. Give the gold some more screen time. Okay. I could feel that. I feel that way with Rachel. I can see that. I never denied Kun's intelligence, but I'll admit that he hasn't been doing anything for me since the season started. What about the Windbird Corps thing? When they took out the branch leader from the Lopobia family. What about that? Rachel being consistently handed ish pisses me off, but Rachel is like weak, like really for real weak. You feel what I'm saying? Like Rachel getting up the tower through like these underhanded meetings and like strategies is the reason. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not reading. He's an irregular. Makes sense. Y'all just not reading. What's up, Glam? I feel it. Almost forgot about the Windbird. You're right. Like that was kind of cool, right? It is sad we're getting to the point of Tower of God where we're just like, oh, Rack threw a spear. We'll take it. Like we just wanted something. Like this is not really moving me, but it's like finally he did a thing. He did a fighting action. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know, but that fire, the Windbird Corps would have never happened if Shibichu didn't do half the groundwork. Oh, that's a fact. And Ivanka was trying to hate. Big brain shit, man. Big brain. Put respect on my dude. Tracksuits out. They're raw. SIU is speed running the series due to his health. Many of the things he set up will go nowhere because this and many more will have cheap resolutions. I don't know. In a lot of ways, I think it's too early to tell with Tower of God if he's trying to speed run to the end. But because I have so many questions, does he still want to complete this tail user story universe? Is Tower of God going to be the end? Like, is he going to move on and just retire? Like, why isn't he okay with maybe getting some other artists to help do some more heavy lifting? Like, there's a lot of things I think he can do to reconcile that. But it's a good point. I feel it. The spear is fire. Rack just need more screen time. Yeah. I don't know how that shit was fire. Like, he just threw the spear. I'm like, all right, he's the ancient spear, which is good. I like that he had that. He has it in a different carrier. That's cool. But I'm just like, I don't like when I get to a point in a series where in my head I'm like, I'll just take it because I'm so starved for this character to do something. Y'all know, like for One Piece, I love Robin. Like Dominio, Grand Jacuzzi Clutch, great, awesome. But it was just so nice to see her do something. But getting that flashback with that's what we got for the Revolutionary Army thing, that was not moving me to a full degree. I don't really like comparing that all the time, but that's just kind of like the first thing that comes to my mind. While I think the execution is terrible, I'm actually okay with the conclusions to White's plotline. Even if he's one of the best characters in TOG, he was already the major villain of the Dollar Show arc and this current arc. He was hanging around for a long time. Gwestang and Baam already gave him the reality check. He knows for sure no matter what, he just can't reach Arie Han or any irregular. I think it's time to move on. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. He's just saying, listen, it is what it is. It's over with. Keep it pushing. I feel that. I'm not mad at that. Her fight was mid. Let me see. That's half the Straw Hats, to be honest. Listen, I only care about Robin, so I'm not talking about nobody else. The rest of them don't move me. The White versus Baam was not only pointless, it basically ruined the whole point of arc after and Prince's death by turning focus away from the two characters, and the conflict should have been between Wagnag and Rachel. There was 100 ways to set the conflict that didn't have to involve ruining this plotline. I agree with that, Siamese. It's one of the main reasons that initial, like, he's like, I ate Prince in Arcrafter, and Baam was like, I'm like, bro, you don't. Not only do you not care about this shit, this has nothing to do with you. That has to do with Wagnan's story and Wagnan's team and what Wagnan wanted to accomplish. Like that was not about you. So like, it is kind of funny and jarring when I think about it. I'm like, bro. I know from White's point of view, it's like whatever it takes to get Baam to stay here and fight me. I'm not really mad that he just threw that out there to see if it'll piss him off, but Bam's reaction just makes me like, bro, that's so fugazi. That's just so fugazi to me. Recent chapter showed me that SC doesn't give a F about execution and is speed blitzing through the story, at least this arc. I feel that. I don't read 2G anymore, but that pretty boy stopped being which pretty boy you talking about? Yes and no? I agree. This lessened the weight of Wagnan's revenge motivations and whatnot. Yeah. You know, it is what it is, though. I have a feeling SIU is making Baam super strong and starting to rush the story because he wants to be done with Tower of God. He's been doing Tower of God for over 10 years, and we are barely on the 54th floor or something, and possibly not even halfway through the story. The dude has some horrible injuries that didn't get any better after taking a full year off. But he didn't really take a year off, Bob. He just kind of, you know what I'm saying? I heard he just did stuff. He didn't really stop. It didn't sound like he rested to me. I feel that, though. The way how Karaka has been handled is bad. I do not like to see him team up with Baam or have his tsundere moments. The way how Karaka was talking in the beginning of Season 2 to Jinsung, and how he is behaving right now is so different. They are two different characters. Well, I've said that a million times, so I agree with that much. White should have won, and Jinsung Ha should die due to Baam's wasting time fighting White. Rack became lame and his Chopper 2.0 can't stand his chibi form. Turtles. The pretty boy with the ring and Wagner. Yeah, Wagner is not doing nothing right now. What I'm starting to hate is the wait and see ass people. SIU lost that pass with me post last station. There's no satisfactory payoff anymore. I'll say this. I do understand sometimes if you're a really competent storyteller and you've been telling stories or a story for a really long time, you build up like good cachet and good like longevity points, if you will, with the fan base. I do think you can lose that though. There was a time with Oda, I would be like, you know, I trust Oda more often than not. He delivers, but he made enough mistakes at some point where like I can't do that wait and see approach anymore. SIU the same. I think for a long time I would just like, oh, I believe in him, I trust him, it'll be fine. But along the last station into Season 3, he lost that from me. Where it's like, no, like I'm gonna judge it chapter to chapter and take it at face value instead of giving him credit for no reason anymore. Like, you have to earn your stripes every chapter now. I'm not giving it to you anymore. So that's where I am personally speaking. He's Gator Chopper. Facts. His ring and print stuff has been explored, and nothing with Wagner has happened yet, dude. Only 20%. What does that ring really mean if you're willing to explain? I know the ring is part of the key. The understanding, and it's been very strongly implied that the 13th month series plus the 2 rings from Karaka and Wagner are probably the key to get to the next floor that Johannes locked off, the 135th floor. That's kind of the prevailing thought. Let's keep it moving. SIU's art has always been bad to mediocre. Is that a hot take? I don't know. For a good one, I think he handles Haigh-Rankers' personalities really well. What do you guys think about that? Haigh-Rankers' personality. I mean, they're all kind of condescending, but you know what? I don't know. That's an interesting one because it's like, what do you mean by personalities? They come across to me as all pretty, you know, high and mighty, look down on you type, which I could understand, but some of them are kind of copy and pasted to me, all things considered. I thought there'd be a set of princesses the same way there are a set of there are princesses. No, I didn't think that was gonna happen. I think they made it obvious that for whatever reason, the power of blood procedure seems to be something that's only for women. The Mad Dogs are supposed to have something similar to that, and the ones that we've seen were all male so far, with Elliot, Busalar, Elliot, and Bagarov. So. Second half of Season 2 art was best. I absolutely agree with the Season 2, like middle to latter half is the best part of the art. Though the art is consistent, it became generic webtoon art. I agree with that. If the Karaka thing kind of reminds me of the Endeavor Redemption arc, I don't like the arc like most. I think it's good, but I've never shown that he cared or felt sympathy towards his family. I like Endeavor though, but I guess I feel you on that. Cause like a fourth of the Haigh-Rankers feel unique. I don't know if you can make that statement in a general sense. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of too many really unique like generic Haigh-Rankers. The ones we follow, we get to learn more about, but we'll see. I feel like SIU focuses too much on Baam in this arc instead of the other characters. Karaka and Doran are so left behind. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get to see that fight. That also goes in the grand scheme of things. I really hope he doesn't forget about beloved characters like Kun Ran. Fair enough. Fair enough. Bam's love interest is Dory. I've been saying that. Since Rand said that shit, I said, yo, watch. And remember when they first said Adori, they said Midori. I believe that. Rand was SIU's best regular and he wasted him. And I agree with that. To some degree. That's it from a combat standpoint. Positive hot take. SU has some of the most creative character designs in all of Webtoons. He has some really good ones. Even like Paracool has like a cool design and some couple characters like that. So I'm gonna. He's got a lot of really cool designs. Some of them monsters he's created, some of them beasts and whatnot. He has good character designs. I'm okay with that. Also, we chopping up today, sir? I can after I edit this and work out again and everything. So I felt I like Endeavor. It was just jarring. I get what you're saying because I guess they hid that. I don't know. I don't remember how it was portrayed throughout the story of My Hero, so it's a little difficult for me to comment on that. I'm not a My Hero fan like that. So, but I hear you. Rand just a waste. He isn't here. So it's just so disheartening. Like Rand was so well trained, dude. Oh god. He was so raw. The Princess War arc is a fan-based delusion and it will not happen. Oh, niggas do not want to hear that one. Because I'm starting to agree that while it was hinted at and played with and stuff, there was I don't recall any official concrete statement that we will have a Princess War arc 100%. Will we have moments and arcs where we focus on the Princess of Jihad? I'm sure we will. Through the lens of a knack, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But people just being 100% sure this thing is going to happen is kind of funny to me. So, yeah. Positive hot take. Urine's lips. Yes, sir. What's up, Sage? Every other pair of lips in the yeah, best lips in the tower. Come on now. I need that hot urine, man. I need the full body reveal. Full body. All right, positive hot take. I liked. Oh, brother. Sorry, my head's already heard it. I like the power ups that were given to Kun and Rak. This is something we should have been ready for since early season 1 due to the nature of the potential of the irregular. There is no way training would allow anyone to grow as fast as Baam, and this was heavily implied in season 1 and established early in season 2. Negative hot take. I am afraid for the potential irrelevance that the regulars, even rankers, may fall deeper into. I cannot see the regulars or others, maybe other than Rat, catching anywhere near to Baam without contradicting the lore of the story. There is no way SIU is going to ignore his established lore. P.S. After reflecting on the story more, Kun is probably one of the smartest or most strategic characters in the TOG story. Sorry for not acknowledging him. I just want to see Yuri Machete throw hands. That'll be great. I think the princess shit is less likely than White fighting his dad, to be honest. That's a good point. Because that's something we wanted to see. Like Ari and Han versus White on the 100th floor. There was no indication that was going to happen. We just cared. We just wanted to see that. Is the Princess War arc like a One Piece Moon arc where we want it, but it's just not? Do we want a One Piece Moon arc? Is that a popular thing? That's a joke that I make. Is that a thing? I always say I want the moon arc, but I'm kind of playing around. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how much the community actually speaks about that arc, so I couldn't tell you for the One Piece side of things. I find this post, LK, kind of interesting because I think your hot takes are a little contradictory. Because you're like, the power-ups are fine, we gotta power them up, but also the characters are becoming irrelevant because of the power scaling. You see what I'm saying here? Like, I'm not even sure if you realized when you were typing it out. I'll say this about the Kun and Rak power up. It is what it is. Like, whatever. If you have to do something this egregious to power them up to somehow keep up at this point, so be it. I'll take it. But it actually being a good thing to me is not. I can't get behind that thought process. So, yeah. The moon arc is a meme. Okay, okay, okay. The community is stupid. Do not understand the value of a moon arc. Nah, some people generally believe you're going to the moon in OP. There's no value in Wallace. Wow, Glam, stop being a hater. There are 9 moons, Glam. OP. Oh, don't kill me. Y'all funny, man. Hello, I am new, and first, I just want to say thank you for the compare content. Hey, no problem. I love it. It's such a niche series, and to see a YouTuber actually take the time to cover it means a lot to us. I also heard you were bilingual. French is my first language. Yes, I'm bilingual. I speak French and English. My hot take is that my TOG hot take is that it was never that good. Oh, that's spicy. It was carried by possibility, theories, and mystery. Once that was over, we saw how imaginative the world really is, how simple Shinsu is, and that Baam could do anything. I think this series has always been very overrated. That's spicy. That's spicy. Carried by the theory, was it carried by the fan base and theory crafting? By the possibilities of things that we were excited to see? I definitely think there's some truth in there. I'm not gonna go as far as you did, Cali Chaos, but that's a hot take. I like that. That's so crazy. To quote Eric, fake death, or otherwise you say, I would say pseudo lore, fake world building, or something like that. Oh man, that's a spicy. Eric's a Shanks fanboy who thinks he's a kickboxer. I'm just saying. Who's Eric? Who the fuck are y'all talking about? Oh, Red Force. I'm sorry. It's Red Force, right? It's one of the brothers. Yo, I'm so disconnected from the One Piece community. It's crazy. I don't know anybody. Some new nigga named Randy. SIU is intentionally speeding up the progression of this arc to move on to things he considers more important to the overall story. Most likely he had a more coherent outline for the plot of this arc, but his rapidly deteriorating health forced him to rush the story. I'm going to say this, and I understand that I'm going to be a bad guy for saying this. I understand. I'm not giving him the health excuse. He's not getting that pass from me. Go heal. Go fix up. Bonjour, mon coeur. Go fix up. Go do your thing. Like, go heal. Get help. Get more assistance. There's so many workarounds for this. It's the same reason why I don't give Tagashi this pass. He's back. Nigga playing Dragon Quest. I'm gonna hear that, alright? Like, I'm not taking care of yourself. Your health is your wealth. If you are not healthy enough to complete this story, you shouldn't be working on it. Like, I cannot give him that pass. I understand it is a symptom of what's going on within the series. I get it. I'm not saying he's not hurt. Because trust me, that boy been complaining about his wrist and all kinds of body parts and ailments for years. Since I've been reading for years, for a long time. But I'm not giving him that excuse. Like, Tower God is only going through this rough patch because he's hurt. No, you're bailing him out because that's not true, bro. That's not true. But point taken. You can call me an asshole or a bad guy for it. I don't effing care. TOG in general is quite bumpy when it comes to quality of the arcs. The main reason for that is his contractual obligations to release weekly chapters. So the weekly excuse too. Oh brother, you can streamline illustrating, but creative writing is something you can schedule. All the overall vastness of the universe SIU creators hinders him even more. Fair enough. I hear you though. I really do. Let me see. My friend, there are some space pirates in the world of One Piece. Oh, I know it's about the space pirates. Red Force? Okay. When we get to that moon arc, I'm gonna cry. All you haters just wait. I'm not even against it. I'm just saying I thought it was a joke. Someone got banned? Alright, yeah. The sword out, man. Training does not matter in this series. Only your bloodline or external power-ups. Training is meaningless. It's an unfortunate conclusion that I had to come to. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I know with Yama, they were like Yama was training and Doom got complacent with, him. Well, he's actually a full Houndborn. We know that now. Yama and Paul are half-breeds, but yeah, I want people to understand that it's not crazy for someone to come to this conclusion now, because there are instances where training had made somebody more impressive, where like, Bam going to those various dojos. The first time we saw JVG, this was him after training with Hajin Sung for a couple years. Like in the first season, Bam had immense latent talent and potential, but he often wasn't like just busting out and doing things crazy. It's after he had some tangible, proper one-on-one training that he started to show out. And then he trained more with the Vankel, Han Sung-il, blah, blah, blah. You know, with the Yama thing, there's instances of characters talking about how much literal physical time and effort they put into their craft, but I don't think it matters at all in this world. Completely agree with that. So yeah, so yeah, it is what it is. Someone tried to cancel me. I'm uncancelable. I think. I don't know. I'm a nice guy though. I promise. Rachel is hot. Yeah, electric chair. Electric chair. He's gone. Get him out. If this was a comic webtoon artist and I stubbed my pinky toe, you might not get a chapter for a good 3 weeks. Yo, I promise you. I'm like, if I'm hurt, like you gotta write I would love to have on a schedule like every 3 weeks. Like I'm taking a break. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I'm developing something. I'm gonna take the month off, bro. I would love to have Tagashi's like work schedule. But if I was a comic book artist for like Image Comics or something, I would probably have like a year on, year off or something like that. I don't know, but it is what it is. Gigi says, I believe the pacing is rather too slow to what the majority thinks. I think he forces too much in a single plot point for way too long, to the point where I personally end up losing all interest in said plot point. Saying it's kind of, is this, you know, this is another series that could simultaneously move really quickly but really slowly. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I think it is probably a hot take. I think most people probably think the series is going fast, especially with Bam's growth rate, but I actually kind of agree with this. Like, there's times where I think like he slowed this story down to a crawl to focus on White versus Bam. Like, that was long. This was actually a pretty long conflict. I want to say this was like 10 chapters. I could be wrong, but that was like, because there was the initial part where he was like running away from White when White came onto the screen. Then White's like, yo, I bodied these niggas. And he's like, bet, I'm gonna wait for you. They had that fight. Then Bam got quote unquote beaten. Then he had his awakening. Then he started to pressure White. Then they had their little hookah-suck-hoo battle, and then yeah, like it was kind of long, bro. All this considered, I get excited whenever the story explores members of the 10 great families in depth. Although I hate the Bam versus White fight that's going on now, I'm really enjoying the flashbacks with White and his descent into darkness. I hope we learn more about Asensio or Liboric. Okay, is that a hot take or just an opinion? That's what Phantom Knight said. Who could suck who? That was the suck off, man. Who gets better head? Who's the better Kirby? Sounds like he's talking about Wano. I agree too. Dark Change is 15 chapters, isn't it? Maybe I'm wrong. Actually, I guess Dark Change would tell me how long it is, but I don't know how long the literal Dark Change was. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay. Alrighty, let's keep it moving. All right, I appreciate you stopping by. I'll get the errands done. Phantom Knights. I like and dislike the way Kun and Rat got buffs in the last chapter. I like it from a pacing standpoint in the sense that they quickly got buffed, and thus the story does not need to waste time having them being a burden for Bab now that he's fighting Haigh-Rankers. That much I can agree with. See, that's the way to phrase that. It's like, whatever, they're stronger now, we're going to waste time with them being far behind. It is what it is. Keep going. To be like, oh, this is some great thing. Oh my god, shit. Yo, the alert scared the fuck out of me. Oh my goodness, that shit scared the F out of me. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Oh my god, that scared the hell out of me. My heart jumped. But yeah, like, I agree with the way that he is saying this. He is saying this, like, for sure. Because this, I guess at the end of the day, I can't tell you how to like or not like a power up, but yeah. Let me see now. But I dislike it due to the fact that this only became this powerful due to sucking up white soul juice. It feels cheap that they were just literally given power, though I have to admit that the scene itself where they were doing all they could to aid Bam was pretty cool. That's fair, Phantom Knight. I'm mad at that. Oh, this is already crazy. Yo, read that first line. The story would be better without Bam. Like, the thing I loved about Tower of God was the mystery of the tower. Characters climbing to reach their goals. The tower was supposed to be this thing only the chosen can climb. People will work together, but also backstab and do what it takes to climb to the top. And even if they make it to the top after years of sacrifice, they may have forgotten the reason they started climbing in the first place. Castle Oblivion type beat. Positions make it unique. Tests make every character have value, not just if they're strong, but how the team works and how the leadership is. Positions were important and made team fights interesting. All this is ruined when Bam breezes through everything and none of the cast dies or quits. What's the point of positions of if Bam can do everything? He's so powerful. What's the point of the awe of rankers if Bam's top 100 level now nowhere near close to being finished? What's the point of the lore and exploring that if you only focus on Bam, where the danger is when Bam saves his friends every time? If Bam's in a regular, fine. If having him being ranker level would be basically like a god amongst regulars, something only a top Prince of the John could do. Or even advanced rankers would be okay. Just have someone ahead of him. You can be more powerful than your allies without being powerful than anyone else. If I had a soundboard, pew 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 pew, you know the horn, pew 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 pew. This is the one. I gotta pin this. This is the one. There's not going to be a better comment, I don't believe. This is the one. He was, oh my goodness. In your bag. In your bag. Blog post, world building. Facts. Oh, shoot, man. That was good. You win. You win today. Well, I'm not one for strong opinions, but Mio Love has to have the overall best design in the series. Wait, hold on. I know what I just said. JDB might have just won. I'm about to pin this. Hold on. The best character you love? Yes, sir. Best character design. Best character design so clean. The ambiguity of the power of the fodder during these battles bothers me a bit. I like to know where they stand in strength. Are they ranker? Are they E-rank regular? Are they illusions? Because it's kind of appear and just die. I really need some slice of life TOG moments, please. One of my favorite moments in the series was in season 1 where they're all eating in the cafeteria. I think these series, they do need downtime. Downtime lets you kind of de-escalate all the adrenaline rush from like the crescendoing into a climax of an arc, right? You want that wind down to rebuild. I think sometimes these series think we just want to stay high octane all the time. Dopamine, serotonin, yeah, like no. Let's calm down and ramp up. It's kind of why I could never get behind Kill la Kill. I think Kill la Kill is always trying to one-up how epic the last thing happened was. That's just me, though. Nah, yeah, Falling Out My Old says when the strategy was here was more of a enjoyable ride. Yeah, for sure. His nigga was spitting. Bias spitting. Once Iraq becomes a master of all 5 elements, I think he'll make Bam's floating ship and it'll look awesome, or like a turtle shell. Oh, turtle shell ship would be crazy. I love that. Edit. If this was the wildest theory, I would pop off, so I'm going to keep my peace for the moment. Alright. SIU is losing control of his story. Rack will get absorbed by Bam. Rack will come and stand. Yo, don't do this to me. Rack becoming Bam's ancient? I can't. Or native? Come on, dog. It depends on how the wrap-up has to be perfect bridge that leads to the next arc. I feel like SC won't add anything from the blog post. Can anyone tell me anything from the blog post that's been included in the main canon? There's instances where like there's these random moments of overlap where something that he says kind of rears its head a little bit briefly in the story, or you can kind of rationalize. I'm like, yeah, but a lot of times he says it like, I'll use my favorite example. Bam was not chosen by F.U.G because he is matchless in talent. It's because of his irregular title. You know, people are as talented, if not more talented than him. Then you'd have like a statement like, I can't keep up with Endorsi without using Shinsu reinforcement. And she's just running with natural speed. Then in Dorsey, learning her Shinsu quality faster than Bam could in Guero and Rack on the hidden floor gives you these instances. Okay, but then like then you just see Bam doing things and fighting rankers. And like, bro, what are you talking about? You feel what I'm saying? So I have never read the blog post, so I don't get mad when it don't happen. You're safe. Magician Rack, Magician's Rack. TOG is ish right now. But that's not a hot take, I guess. Let's talk about Hwaryou then. I don't like her role in the story like I once did. She's not it. Give her 2 cents every now and then. Doesn't have the same charm she once had. And hasn't had a decent dialogue in ages. Not to mention, guys, like every other role in the series sounds like some bull jive that's given this veil of destiny providence. I don't disagree with that, honestly. Her involvement in the story doesn't seem as, what's the word I want to use? As integral as like what I always liked about Hwaryou is that she was the only character that really held Bam's accountable, especially around the Hell Train arc. I thought she was holding him accountable, telling him he acting like Rachel. You feel what I'm saying? So Simi boss with to kill someone. Shorty is Dora map, that's the guy, the navigator. Damn. I know. I am fine with Rack getting a random power up. Kun is not. Just Kun is not. Rack could very well be built to absorb powers just because of H1 mystery. Kun is not. SIU needs more Togashi breaks to save the quality line on story. Yes, it got more generic. The characters and story need him carrying, and to that he needs a break for himself. Maybe the break would help him. I don't know. Alright. I didn't like how SIU handled Yasrach's subordinate. In just one chapter, he shows their backstories and killed them. Their use was so poor and their death so fast, I didn't care for any of them. They were just cannon fodder. Many people said, wow, he showed their backstories and motivations. He really knows how to treat side characters, but for me, it was just a useless attempt to get them some death before killing them. They could have been better used. I am going to say this about this. I agree with you. This is a very cheap tactic that a lot of authors use to kind of make you feel something that I actually think is completely unnecessary for a character like Haracha. But did I hear something in my ear? Thank you for following. I think I heard Ashadipa. Thank you for the follow. I don't think the stories of Yasrach's subordinates are truly about Yasrach's subordinates. I think it was to showcase how much of a beast tamer or apex predator, whatever word it is you want to use, that Yasracha is. Haracha and Kendrick's backstories, to me, highlight how much of a boss that Yasracha is. I think if you think about it in that way, you'll take it a lot better. As for what they did for the character of Haracha and the character of Kendrick, I don't give a fuck about them niggas. They not important. I 100% agree with you. And this long-ass, dumbass backstory didn't do nothing for me. There's like a little tidbit here about like some hybrid race that was kind of cool, but that's like a one-off thing. But that's how I see it though. What's up, Miles? What's happening? Be going for... okay, so it says 37 minutes. Add like 10 minutes because I did stop a stream. What's up? What's up? Yo, welcome. All right, let's keep it moving. I think the way TOG is going is perfect for me. He should bring back side characters, but I'm sure SIU won't disappoint. We are entering the serious part of the story everyone has been talking about. We'll have to just see what Sasuke EU. We'll have to see. Let's have to see. I can never speak on a person's personal enjoyment. So if you're enjoying it, you're enjoying it. More power to you. The pacing has been strained. The Baam vs. White arc was good for me, but it was ruined at the end by everyone receiving a power-up that they need to achieve in an other way. This arc, I feel, is getting to the border of being too long without a resolution in horizon. Still good, still like it, but something significant must happen soon. Okay. I'm still crying from the Ace Fame stream last night. Have I reached my comment yet? No, I don't think so. I don't think so, Miles. I could be wrong. I don't think we reached your comment yet, though. Yeah, the Ace. I'll probably do more stuff like that where I just watch some stuff on that. I'm getting to the quarantine part for the Ace Fame videos, man. That is funny as F, my dude. Shit, funny, man. Okay. A lot of new commenters actually today, by the way. I appreciate it. A lot of commenters and comments I haven't seen before. SIU tried to rush the pace due to his health issue. The story declines. Sometimes the art too. Sometimes the character's face look uglier than before hiatus. Power scaling becoming consistent. I agree with all of those. The recent chapter is one of the worst. SIU hyped up Baam's irregular power, but in the end, he's barely stronger than White with 2 thorns ignited. He needed help from his weak friends to defeat White. I disagree with this assessment, but let me see what you're going to say here. Rack did things that he shouldn't be capable of. Not even a normal Haigh-Rankers or Baam's meteor shower can scratch White, but Rack, the weakling, comic relief, can deliver a finishing blow on White just because he used his stupid overrated spear. I do not think White is stronger than Baam. Because you have to still understand that Baam is technically not going all full out. I don't know if it's hard to tell because he's explained certain things, but when he had kind of stabbed himself with the thorn at one point, they said he had the power of an administrator. I don't know if he was exuding that power, but you have to remember he has a Black March. He hasn't used the Black March. Like, this is still not full power Baam. He has still not connected all of the things inside of him and made it one cohesive, coherent, all the gears are working in unison. Like, he's still not using his powers efficiently. So I can't agree with the part where I think maybe when he let White in to try to absorb him, maybe he underestimated White's thirst. that sounds fun. But White's like the hunger for power. Maybe he is just as good of an absorber or Kirby as Baam is. I think Kun and Rack made things easier. Now with the Rack thing, you have to remember that spear was able to damage Kel Helm. I don't know how much you hold Kel Helm in high regard, but when Evankel launched it, it did wound him and he couldn't heal quickly. So I would assume that a spear like that, if it could hit White, would hurt. The thing about it is the game removed Rack having to aim or Aguero having to calculate the distance, longitude, latitude, whatever. Because the game was like, send a spear bearer to the field for one guaranteed hit. So you have to kind of keep those things in mind. But I feel you, man. I feel you. The fact he doesn't use the Black March against White is kind of crazy because you think you kind of get a bit of a sword match or something like that. He also never stabbed himself with both thorns at once. That's true. Will I watch the quarantine on stream? Yeah. I'll watch it on stream. Had to leave the stream early yesterday, but I wanted to say that chapter was hot. Was effing up. I feel it. I feel that. Oh man, there's a difference between using the thorns and igniting them. Okay. Wait until he gets all the Infinity Stones. Baam is not 100%. He's been fighting using a ton of Shinsu since the war started. There's that too. Maybe he's tired. Come on, bro. You don't respect that clown. The arrow. the arrow Ron, though. I don't respect him, but he might respect him. You never know. I'm not a Cal Helm guy. That guy's a bozo. East to West React says, to be positive, the quickened progressions of Baam's power allow the climb to go faster and we can see more key figures at the tower. I guess that's true. Negative. We may never see or get much from characters we fell in love with in Season 2. The random power-ups being given are going to push the trio further away from the other regulars, and I can't even think of what the roles can be going forward besides support. Free Hatch, free Ship, free Bong, free Young Sleep, free Rand. Free all of them. We gotta free my niggas. Here's what I'll say about this too, because this actually you reminded me of an earlier comment that said train doesn't matter. I want you guys to kind of exclude the Jihad Princesses, exclude Baam, and exclude the Haigh-Rankers, Rankers, and Advanced Rankers. Throughout the majority of Season 2, didn't Rand come across to you as like the best trained, best all-around regular? Like, it makes me sad to think about how awesome Rand was for so long. I like Charlie. I can respect his grind. I love Charlie, dude. Charlie's my guy. Shout out to White Noise, man. That's my guy. Like, yeah, trading really does not matter in this series, unfortunately. You back with more. You want to spit some more? Even without power, Baam's so boring. He's been The tower for years, so fresh faced. That thing is gone, but we barely know anything about his personality, what he likes, dislikes, except for his friends, and it's made worse with him not having a backstory. I can agree with that. I don't think Baam's interesting. There you are, Miles. Where are you now? Oh, hold on. Who's Basha? Baam has no stake or reason to fight, nor beat Jihad and change the rules of the tower. Jihad's journey would have been more interesting to read. Jihad is an irregular who was deserving of all of his accomplishments since he worked every step of the way to get there with his own tools. The system of rankers should have never been made since it has little to no real weight in the story, and is a title for those that have it are not given the respect they deserve. Shinsu quality, Shinsu shape and tension were the best introduction of powers in the tower, and not utilizing its piss poor writing. Baam versus White is one of the worst fights I've seen in the medium of storytelling. Positives. There are still chances for change and good things to happen, so I'm still rather optimistic of what's to come, even in this arc like Cal vs. Liboric, Yama's story, family head stuff, and the Kun family shenanigans. I think the only thing I disagree with is, unfortunately, I think Karaka kind of does the fabricated hatred thing. Like, he talks about how like Baam was molded into becoming like this figure to defeat the 10 great families and whatnot. So like that's their reasoning. But I guess also remember that Jihad killed V and Arlene, blah blah blah. So he still has some family connections loosely. But I get what you're saying with that. Everything else I agree with though. I feel you. The fight with Indiana still GO tier? Yes, it is. Ran. That shit was so good. I mean, and Darcy was, to me, she would pick up abilities so fast. It was ridiculous. She was talented. She was talented. But I don't think she had the same level of overall combat showcase that Ran had. Like, Ran was doing all kinds of things, from the hand of Arlene all the way to the workshop, one shot, one opportunity, fighting with Iniesta, all kinds of things. To Redans, to increase his Shinsu inside of himself, whatever. We learned a more efficient way of doing that in the hidden floor. Learning about the REA family, tanking hits, all that kind of stuff. Like, he had a great showcase. Even the little thundercloud that he had, like, he's had so many versatile abilities. Machete style lightning spear, the La Luz, like, trust me, like, if you really go back and check Ran's repertoire of abilities, bro, he was shaking his ass. He was going crazy. Didn't V suicide though? But wasn't it a result of like something related to Jihad and stuff? Maybe I forget it, because didn't Arlene go crazy because of what happened? I gotta brush up on my lore, man. It's been a while. I could be misremembering that. But he's got like I'm saying he's got like a loose or regular 10 great warriors climb connection. It's like loose. It's not very strong, but yeah. 1. I need Rack dead. I never really liked it. I wasn't ready for that. That's funny as hell. He said, yo, get Rack the out of here. That's funny. Is this cutting off some of the... Oh, no, it's not. That's so funny to me. I'm sorry. I thought it was because Arlene was sad of her child's death, so he killed himself. But isn't V the father? Well, I guess some people think Jihad's really the father. I guess it depends on what you think. Kun is kind of lame now. Yeah. The princesses are some of the best and most interesting characters in TOG. I agree. I don't like Caliban. I don't know why. Rachel's not that ugly. She's canonically ugly. I miss Paracool, strongest character in the series. Access. I feel like every new character that's introduced ends up being goofy. Season 2 art style is the best, easily. I love Novik, Dan, Sia. I like Novik. You know what? It's the prettiest girl in the story. Not mad at that. This may be a Manhua thing, but Tower God was screwed when he made fighting high ranker level fighters. Wait, sorry. Excuse me. Nah, V the father? Okay. I've heard people say they think it's Jihad. That's why, because I guess the prevailing I can't remember what someone was telling me, but it had to do with Gus Dang saying your father was the most hated person in my life. I don't want to talk about him, and people thinking that like what was the other part to that? It's like because Jihad was like take down the Lopo, be a family. I guess some people are thinking it's possible that his dad is actually not V. I don't know. It's just whatever. Freckle waifus are top tier. Listen, man, y'all got it with Rachel's on an attractive standpoint. I'm good off that. Okay, she looks like she don't bathe. This may be a manhwa thing, but Tower God was screwed when he made fighting higher ranker level fighters when all of his regular friends get one-shotted by fodder ranker. That's literally how the story was set up. There's no realistic way they should be helpful or relevant to the story. Also, season 1 main cast are hopping on Bam's nuts when they haven't seen much interaction, in my opinion. Totally agree. Watched anime for season 1 between the characters, excluding Rak and Kun. Team Sweet and Sour Pork, in my opinion, had better interactions with Bam. So this, if he said he watched season 1 of the anime, I don't know if you're a new fan, but see, I'm not crazy. Stop looking at me insane when I'm like, why is Hot out of nowhere talking about I want to become stronger for Bam's sake? Why? Where the hell did that come from? That's so jarring. Thank you. Like, I'm not crazy for thinking that. I have to look at the weapons. Bam creates an arrow from souls. Arrows are weapons outside the tower. Kel using arrows is a part of F.U.G, so it probably never reads how connected, not to mention the tension. That's not a bad idea because they did bring their own weapons like swords and guns and whatnot into the tower too. I guess that's not a bad point when you think about it that way. Hot take. The power system of Testament Tower God is what made it great going in. It wasn't just about being powerful. It was about the tactics, teamwork when someone was trying to progress in the story. They had class systems, i.e. Fisherman, Wave Controller, Light Bearer to show how different types were ways to fight or use your skills, and not all strong people comes down to beams. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Tower of God's power system has the potential to be one of the most diverse and unique system out there, but it disappoints me greatly and is reduced down to colorful beams. Power of beams, baby. Tower of beams. You already know. The story has become a guilty pleasure because of the trash writing. Why bring White into the story and have his presence be taken out like this? It's not a good conclusion to a story arc at all. I totally agree. And White is a really beloved character. I may have personally not been a huge White fan like that, but like it's sad to see because for a lot of people who really like that character, they're not a fan of this. I really like the current Tower of God. Monster Trio, Bam is top high ranker. Kun is ranker level. Rak is ranker level. I agree with all those things except for I guess the first sentence. Bam was assigned his own destiny, which was to bring truth to the tower, slit the king's throat, and lead the tower people to greater heights. What is Rachel's role in all this? I didn't ask you to ask me questions. I asked you for hot takes. I ain't answering that. The only way to save this story is if the next arc is without Bam. Interesting. We'll have to see. We will have to see. I have no problem with the Bam stuff, says Juvio Grace. This is Bam's burner account. That's why. You think I don't know who JVG is? This is his burner account. You into Kevin Durant gimmick. I have no problem with the Bam stuff. I have no problem with the high ranker stuff. I have no problem with the pace it's going, or even the fact that SU wants to speed it up. What I do have a problem with is how SIU went about it. Having the characters at the nest was the worst. The regulars in the nest was the worst decision ever. He single-handedly destroyed his own lore, destroyed the arc as a whole, and made one massive ass pull after another. It's ridiculous. We've seen regulars tanking high ranker attacks. We've seen regulars outsmart high rankers and get them killed. We've seen regulars with the ability to overpower high rankers and make them stronger. We've seen high rankers asking regulars for help to fight a deficient commander, even though it was never necessary, but SIU wanted to give them something to do. And now we've seen a turd like Rak one-shot a high ranker, and White and his power somehow get split and given to 3 people for no reason at all other than to appease the daft fans that can't let go of the past. That nigga spin. Worst writing ever. He should end the story and get it over with before he ruins it even more. I don't even pay for Fast Pass anymore with what I saw the latest episodes from the Raws. Damn. A better way for SC to handle this, if he really wanted to get Kud and them to ranker level, is to help Bam would have been to have him Bam sealed away in the Suspendium. Let Bam struggle for 500 plus years to get out. Since time is different in there, it might feel like a short while for Bam, but when he gets out and time moves over 500 years since he's went in, then we could see his friends as rankers, high rankers. No problem with that then. and he'll still be stronger than them. That's a joke. By the way, but the way he did it is stupid, and I hate it. I can't even get motivated to read this crap anymore. Damn, he sounds so defeated. I feel that. Like, that's like the internal battle that I'm having, where it's just like, if this is the direction we're gonna keep going, do I really want to be here? Someone said it's a guilty pleasure at this point. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, this is part of my job. I'll talk about it, but my love for it could completely dissipate at this point. That was a really good comment, by the way. I totally understand Andy and all of your frustrations. Don't let anybody in this community make you feel like you're not justified for feeling that way just because they're trying to ignore all the nonsense SIU has been doing and turning a blind eye. Like, I like Baam, I like power, it's so fun. CBL though, for life. You never heard Baam the GOAT, man. CBL, baby. Hold on. Let me get it go. I said CBL. Okay. I don't know if this is the hot take, but this rescuing Jinsung-ish has been going on for way too long. Maybe it's because of the 1-year hiatus, but I'm so sick of Save My Master, Save My Master, Save My Master. They were on some cool, interesting moments. Yama, Calavan, White, rest in peace. And Yas Ratcha, hard carry this season. But this chapter was the straw that broke my back. I'm ready to move on. This is coming from an unordinary stand. Okay, fair. So you patient then. That means you patient, Lo. You patient, man. Because Uru-chan was killing me with that John stuff. And like, just to like, the John stuff was like, I truly believe people cannot change instantaneously. Like, Sean, I'm your friend. Flashback into all the good times, and you do like a 180. Like, no. So I get like, but like, oh god, I have to read this weekly. That shit was killing me, dude. Oh man. Shoot. And this is coming from understand. Also, don't know why the hell SC thinks Baam needs to clear the tower as fast as possible. No, he needs to get there properly. But I know there's no point in complaining about it. Yeah, that's the fact. It is what it is. Oh, I know you about to start spinning. I feel it. You about to go in. I know you are. For life, yes sir. Glam, same power creep. That power creep was crazy. Northern they never getting peeped again after Mofo said, "I'll be the king." I feel like a lot of us are just too invested in the series. It's not fun to read though. I agree with that, Kamasu. Like, you have to understand that for a long time, Tower of God was legitimately one of my favorite things, just in general. Like, the media, the type of media be damned. Webtoon, novel, game, light novel, visual novel, manga, comic book, whatever. Like, Tower of God was just in that upper echelon of just fiction that I love to death. And since the last station, it's been on this, like, and then it went like this. And it's just hard. It's hard, man. Arlo, my king, too. Shout out to Arlo. And also, Dr. Darren is my spirit animal. Shinshu as a concept has failed to stay consistent due to its rules and went from one of the most interesting power systems in Webtoons to the least interesting one. People don't like Floor of Death because Urek Mazino F with the power consistency of the arc and remove the tension from it, but like current arcs where Baam's power, I had to figure out to go here, where Baam's power-ups do the same thing, plus will do the same thing in many of the upcoming arcs due to his regular shenanigans. It is very funny in hindsight thinking about how Urek being an irregular in the Floor of Death undercut so much people's tension because Urek is here number 4 in the Tower Race, but Baam is doing that in his own right. Overpowered characters need to have a personality or charisma that's fun to follow. Having a stoic face overpowered entity fight an opponent who is struggling is not fun. SLU introduces too many characters in the arc who are mostly expendable and will be irrelevant in the long run. For the longest time, the goal of climbing the tower, which was the thing that attracted most of the people to Tower God, has become sidelined. You spin. I knew you was going to spin, my brother. Amazing, brother. That Urek-ish was so weird. As a certified John lover, I apologize for my brethren's actions. We were not having a great game. We played shiesty as I don't dislike John. I dislike how some John zealots defend him. Because he's not in the right. He's just as wrong as anyone else. He's still a part of the problem of the system that he hates so much. That's all I'm saying. It was unnecessary at the same time. How the F do you do that? You know what I'm saying? Oh god, I don't know. It's how do I explain the floor of death in a way? Like I actually understand. Okay, I'll use this example as a framework. For Breath of the Wild, a lot of people complain about the weapon system. How the weapons broke too easily. I think that's a very fair complaint. It didn't bother me though. I found a workaround. I knew if you actually parried properly, used flurry rushes, actually got the higher grade weapons and whatnot, and you kind of filled your inventory with some of the best stuff, your weapons would last longer. I had the Master Sword, recharges, all of those things. Like, there was workarounds, and I saw people play the game. Enemy would have a metallic shield, you have a club, and you're bashing against the shield. You're making the weapon durability not work as well as you're doing that. There's workarounds around that, I understand. Or to me, the floor of death, it wasn't about some insurmountable enemy we couldn't overcome. Hell, Joe Domain there, excuse me, he's mad powerful. Whole repairman, Red Theresa, all those things are powerful. But I don't think he was actually any stronger than like a Yuri or something like that. It's just that he was able to remove all Shinsu for the floor. Urek was the person who gave him this ability, so he came back to rectify an issue that he himself caused. And also, to me, it also highlights how much of a different person Urek was in comparison to other irregulars. As strong as he is, he's a self-proclaimed champion of the tower. Number 4, super strong, came here to fight Phantom Minim, but he still looks out for the little guy. Who the fuck is Hell Joe to Urek Mazzino? And he still took the time to go out of his way to help build this little nigga up. Like, to me, there were so many things that make up for the fact that Urek was here undercutting the tension. Fine. Baam is not, these arcs are not doing that with Baam though. Like, the other shit is just not happening. But at least with the Floor of Death, there was so many things that were interesting. The Arlene info dump, the lore of the 13-month ghost, all of those things were present and prevalent. The stirring soup ladle for Madarako and all that kind of stuff. That leads into now. You feel what I'm saying? That's all much more intriguing. We got to see Rachel get washed by a toy bee. So yeah, but I feel it though. I think it's a fair complaint though. Really, I do. I used to get upset that we don't see it in my favorite characters anymore, but now I fear them showing up and being mishandled or just flat out being utterly useless in the narrative. Fair fear to have, honestly. It's past us now. We weren't having a great it's necessary at a certain time. His stance said some shit. Most outlet. Yeah. John's stance have made no sense a lot of times. It's my problem, but maybe sometimes I wonder if like they got bullied. That's why they root for John. Like, I never got bullied. Urek the GOAT being so overpowered, but his personality and charisma makes him enjoyable. Thank you. Like, he's a higher ranker that does like even at the time he probably didn't know how crazy or whatever Baam was. Looking out for the little guy. Like, so yeah. Shout out to the best. Shout out to the B, yes sir. That's exactly why I said at the same time, because Urek had to be in that arc. Plus, he had the little syringe to defuse Helljo from it. But not to blame SLU. Every big enough fan base gets that, guys, but still, fair enough. I honestly like Baam being overpowered. I don't think him being overpowered is the problem, but okay. He has been weak the whole time and constantly needed someone to protect him. I don't even agree with that. First it was Yuri during the Hell Train, then Urek beats Hell Joe in his stead. Then the Vankel protects him from Calvin, Karaka protects him in the beginning of season 3. It was satisfying to see him this strong. What I didn't like is how Rack hurting White. Kun is understandable because of the Firefish linked to White's spell, but not Rack. Yes, the spear is powerful, but Rack is nowhere as strong as a Vankel or Rulmont. It's like a baby trying to stab a grown man. I don't agree with anything here. I don't think I agree with anything here, but I don't know if these are hot takes, much on this just your opinion of what's going on right now. But I feel what you're saying with the Rack. The Rack thing is weird. The Kun talking about the Firefish spell thing to the Dollar Show, I don't even care about any of that. I just care about the fact that the fish could resurrect and deep power up people. They can take it away, yada yada yada. So that's whatever. I'm not going to go into that. Having a powerful weapon, from my understanding, does it kind of matter? Does it matter? Like if I am an E rank regular and I have a S rank weapon, the quality of the weapon is still like intact, right? Like it doesn't matter how trash I am with it or how weak I am. That weapon is still very well made, to my understanding. Like if I had Kranos, even though I'm weak as hell, like could I not use it? Like I don't know. I don't know if rack spear hitting White is the problem. I think the fact that he didn't have to aim bothers me more than that. What's up, Milios? Don't think Baam being overpowered is the issue. It's the decisions that make to showcase and when they're showcased. Exactly my point. Like it's not him being too strong. Overpowered characters are fine to have their place in many series. It's execution. Here's my question: did the Firefish transfer the power to the trio with spell? One of the spell break due to Baam being a spell breaker? Yeah. At this point, what do we know about spells, man? What is he talking about? I don't know. They get crazy with it. They start hating any character who says anything negative about John. Oh yeah, they came for me, man. They took up for me.
Yay! Oni-chan, peace, peace.
Thank you. So who subscribed? Who did it? Why couldn't I see? Oh, it's under. Damn. Thank you for the subscription. Young Milios, my God, big Milios in the building. Yes, sir. Negative hot takes. Baam is one of the worst characters in the story due to how SIU handled them, and has a lot more potential in terms of development. SIU was done poorly in season 3. I agree with that. I'll do one refresh just in case anybody commented very recently. This happens sometimes. Let me do a quick refresh. Because sometimes people will comment like right after at the end. He was first. Nope. You good. I think this is the last comment. Okay. So this is the last comment that we have. And then we shall move on. Baam is not as overpowered as everyone thinks he is. I mean, compared to regulars, and of course he's overpowered because, well, he's an irregular. I'm sorry, it just like my brain, when people just dismiss that. And anyway, it's fine, he's a regular, let's keep going. Like, it's just my brain, just it hurts. But he's nowhere near high ranker level. That's cap. If he was high ranker level, he'd have just straight up killed White, not take up his power. The reason he won was because he was smarter than White and he got help from Kun and Rack and even White's clone. And even compared to other irregulars, he's still kind of weak. The only reason he won against Jihad, one of the hidden flaw, was because he had the Thorn, 2 Thrissas, and the Souls. Because Jihad was holding back at the beginning of the battle. Also, the Nest arc showed us that power isn't everything by showing regulars help rankers. How Hockney saved the Vankel, Hats helped Cha, and Kun helped, well, everyone. These comments are so interesting when you kind of contrast them to some of the earlier comments that we saw, because regulars should not be able to help rankers and everything. But here's what I'll say: Baam is definitely stronger at high ranker level. If you want to go as low as 1,000, okay, fine. I'm going 100. Fair enough. What else did you say that I disagree with? He's stronger than White. He did not need help to beat White. He did not need help. He's not using all of his... I don't think people... Do people not get that this is not full power Baam? He's not using all of his powers. He didn't even burn the souls up. The souls were trying to run by getting eaten up by some larger powers. The soul force, whatever, is still in there to some degree. I'm not saying he hasn't used up some of them, but it's still there. In his mindscape, whatever. He's not used the Black March. And the Black March helped him, like, regulate his power and not burning as much back on the last station. Like, have we forgot that? Like, this isn't even his final form. Like, this, I'm not trying to, like, I really am not trying to attack you and make any aspersions on you, but this just sounds like a defense for what's currently happening in Tower of God, more so than I have a hot take. You're kind of doing this, what Simi says, Unga Bunga must defend series. Like, I don't know if I even believe what you're saying, but hey, man, more power to you. I can't tell you how to think. It is what it is.